Hi guys. Yeah, so I was having a conversation with a friend of mine a few days back, and we were talking about several things relating to dentistry, and he said something that was quite striking. He said he doesn't really trust toothbrushing, like he doesn't really trust, the efficiency of toothbrushes and toothbrushing, and he resolved to making use of mouthwashes several times in the day, like on a consistent basis, right? And in as much as mouthwashes are very good and they're efficient, it's very important to know the kind of tooth or the kind of mouthwashes to make use of, how often you should use them, the consistency, you know, and all of that. So after I had spoken to him, he was like, wow, that he didn't really see it in that light, right? So, and I said, okay, since he actually didn't have so much idea about this, I believe there are people out there who doesn't have an idea as well. So I decided to just come make this video. So yeah, so it's very good to make use of mouthwashes, but at the same time it's important to know the kind of mouthwashes to use, right? So I would not be making any recommendation of the kind of mouthwashes that you're to use. Your dental personnel or your dental healthcare practitioner is the best person to prescribe or recommend a certain kind of mouthwash for you. Why? Because you would have done a consultation, and your health practitioner would have looked into your mouth and seen one or two things that you know he would say, okay, this is the kind of mouthwash that is befitting for your mouth, or this is the kind of mouthwash you're to use, and this is how often you should use it, and this is when you should stop, and this is so they recommend the kind of mouthwash for you, the time frame, get to make use of these mouthwashes for. Yes. So aside the fact that mouthwashes tend to breed some form of addiction. What I mean addiction is that if you keep on using the mouthwash like every day, several times in the day, every day, you kind of get addicted to it. And when you try to pull away from it, you would feel like whatever it is you're doing to keep your mouth clean, it's not working. Like brushing, flossing, high water hydration, you feel that it's not working. Why? Because you are 100% attached or addicted to the use of mouthwash. It's just like, for instance, when someone who is a coffee addict tries to abstain or reduce the intake of coffee, they begin to experience what we call coffee withdrawals. They begin to get some symptoms, in the process of having to, move away from the use of coffee, right? So that's the same thing that happens when you've been using mouthwashes for a while and you're now trying to pull out, so it's not something that you can just do that easily. It has to take some bit of steps, right? And then to gradually reduce the consistency and the usage of the mouthwash. So aside that, mouthwashes are associated with what we call alcohol content. That is, all the mouthwashes contain alcohol, right? They're alcohol based. And if they're alcohol based, we all know that alcohol has this tendency of reducing the buffering of saliva in the mouth. And saliva is very important in your mouth because, number one, it helps you to irrigate the mouth, it helps you to keep your mouth clean, it cleanses your mouth, and it's very important that your mouth produces quite a number of saliva, right? So, but if there is a substance or a content in whatever it is you're taking that is reducing the production of the saliva, it could in turn cause what we call zero, which is known as dry mouth, right? Which in turn can lead to halitosis, which is also known as mouth odor, right? So that's is one of the reasons why we advise that you don't make use of mouthwashes all the time, right? And another thing is that mouthwashes gets to reduce the bacteria, especially the good bacteria. We have like a lot of bacteria that are resident in our mouth, like we have yes, like we are houses to a lot of bacteria, right? So why some are good and some are bad, right? So the good ones in the mouth, they are there for a reason. So when you use too much of this mouthwashes, they get to reduce the bacterial load, especially the good bacterial load in the mouth, and they will not be able to do their work or able to do what they're supposed to do in the mouth. So which is another reason why we advise that you don't get to use mouthwashes every now and then, just so that you don't get to kill the good bacteria in the mouth. And sometimes as well, mouthwashes often causes teeth staining. Yes, it causes teeth staining, it causes tooth discoloration because of its alcohol content as well as other contents that it has in its bottle. And that is why it's very important that you get to see a healthcare professional, that would a dental healthcare professional rather, that would give a proper recommendation on the kind of mouthwashes you to use, how often you should use it, when you should stop using it. Like maybe when you're experiencing something like this, you have to stop using. You have to like monitor your mouth, basically. Yeah. So that is that for me today. Thank you for actually coming to this. I was thinking it was going to be a short video, but then I think it's quite lengthy. Yeah. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Yes. So thank you.